Welcome back to the GSL. I'm Tasteless, and with me is Artosis. And we saw a pretty one-sided slaying back there in that TVP.
We did. I don't even want to talk about it. It was so gross.
Yeah.
It was like, any pro.
It's kind of depressing.
This was bad, any pro.
It was pretty bad.
Learn from your mistakes, come back stronger.
Good if you want to learn build orders, though, I guess. If you want to learn just like straight up, okay, this is a 3-gate rush, this is a Banshee thing. You can see hard countering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got a ZVP coming up next. It's going to be next NaYa against HongUn Prime.
Yep. HongUn is back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Great at interviews, great at Protoss.
Yeah, I really like HongUn quite a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were actually picking him to win last season. And then Kyrix came along, cheesed him, and he was out in the first round.
Yeah,
so.
he got Kyrixed.
Yeah. But he is a Code S player. He made the round of 8 the first season.
Yeah, thank God. I'm glad he's there. He deserves it.
Yeah, he's a very good player. So we're going to have to see how well he can do here today against next NaYa.
Is it NaYa?
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 I don't know.
Should flip a coin. He is a less experienced player as far as stage goes. I think HongUn probably has a better grasp of strategy. So this is going to be a tough match for our Zerg.
Yeah. An especially tough match because of the maps. We'll get into that in a minute, though.
Right.
Wow.
I
feel bad for him.
Actually, it's like everything is working against this guy. Oh, little guy, you're so sick.
I'm sorry. I hold them normally until the camera goes off me and then remove my headset. But that one came out of nowhere. It just snuck up on me. It was like a DT, and I was like, oh, and I just scrambled and built a turret over here.
And there is one of the people. He's actually, looks like there's a butterfly between us for just a split second. That was him in the audience, some guy. It distracted me, though, because it came up on the preview screen. Now that we have that light off it, I can actually see it now. What are we talking about? What am I doing here?
I don't know.
I totally.
What game is this?
What game is this?
Oh, Starcraft 2.
Okay, we're casting Starcraft 2. All right. Good. I like that game.
This game.
CVP. A lot of people are saying, me and Artosis included, that this is a map that is pretty tough. Well, actually, this matchup rather is pretty tough.
It's very tough on Zerg right now.
Yeah,
it is. A very standard Protoss play. I might get into that a little bit later, but it's extremely hard for Zerg to deal with at this moment. So here's next NaYa. This is his first GSL. The kid loves Xel'Naga Caverns and Mutalisks. He's very young.
He's a little guy.
He is a little guy. Stands up, his head hits the roof. We're like, oh
my God.
He's got very long legs on that little guy. Anyways, he's from the team next, so of course he's got amazing Protosses to practice against, such as Genius. It's such a huge team, a really talented team as well.
You can't really get much better practice against Protoss than next Genius.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe OGS Inca, another example of that. But
I would put next Genius on a whole nother level, to be honest.
Really?
Their PvPs are very similar, but when I watch the PvT and the PV...
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true.
I just feel like it's
like the Beautiful Mind music starts to play in my head. I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's so good.
I see Genius, he's just got, like, paint on his finger and, like, making a beautiful painting. I don't know. That's what I see.
Here we go. HongUn Prime
is back. He's a sergeant. And, he's from Prime, so obviously he's got a lot of good practice partners.
Right.
He's got Czech over there to practice against Zerg, but...
Prime has been getting executed one by one in the round of 64 thus far.
Yeah.
So hopefully HongUn can pull through for these guys. They need to have some presence. It's bad for everybody involved if we don't get Prime through.
Yeah. Need some Primes up there. We have a little Protoss spaceship there.
That must be a Colossus or a Stalker or a Turtle. Or a squid with a face in it.
It looked like a Reaver in like a spaceship. I don't know.
So, after this, we're going to introduce the maps.
Yes.
But I think we need to talk about the maps right now because there's a lot to say about this.
Delta Quadrant. That is a map that Zergs love to remove against Protoss because, well, the naturals are just so close. You can't really stop a push in time.
Yeah.
They just mass up, and then they walk 2 steps away from their base. You can't counterattack or anything because they just walk 2 steps back. And the way around is actually so much slower. So it's a very hard map, and at the same time, Protoss can actually tech and expand behind. We see that occasionally. And there's really nothing you can do about it. They can just hold the ramp at force fields quite easily.
Right.
It's a map that Zergs hate for many, many reasons. Very, very hard map. The Zerg's going to have something up his sleeve here. You can't really play that map normally.
Right.
A normal macro-type game with Zerg isn't going to work. Even a cheesy-type game normally won't work, because if they sense you cheese, they'll just expand to the back,
Yeah, it's true. So here's the actual map lineup. We're going to put that on the screen for you guys.
Delta Quadrant, Metalopolis, Jungle Basin. Metalopolis, of course, the best map. Very balanced. Best player may win. And then we have Jungle Basin. And Jungle Basin is so funny. It's like the most Protoss-owned Zerg map you can come up with. It might even be as bad or worse than Steps of War. It's actually like a slapstick comedy. You watch the Zerg try to do something there. Like, watching a Zerg trying to take a third base there is actually so funny because the Colossus just comes over and like pokes it from a little tiny choke about that big. And then the Zerg army's like, all right, guys, let's go get this thing. And they rush in, and then there's 2 force fields. And that's all she wrote for Zerg. I mean, the map is bad for Zerg versus Protoss. Every Zerg eliminates it against Protoss. Not only that, but of course they can warp in over the little water thing.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that they can do.
Oh, it's a headache for Zerg, man.
I believe it, man.
For Zerg versus Protoss, at least.
No, of course, yeah.
So, yeah.
ZVT is not as bad, I think, on it. It's
no,
still
not
tough
nearly
for the Zerg.
as bad.
It's just not really a Zerg map.
No, I think it's a nothing map. It's a Protoss map.
It's because Zerg have to get... actually, hold that thought. The countdown started. We're going to get this going. It's going to be HongUn Prime against next NaYa. So get ready for some awesome ZVP action in our final best of 3 today. We've already done 9 so far. Wow. Oh, actually, we've done 8. This will be our 9th.
All right.
And I'm going to go home and go to sleep after that. Over here in the red, representing the Zerg race, is the one, the only...
Next NaYa.
Next NaYa. Over here in the bottom left, on our map Delta Quadrant, a very talented, very good at many different build orders, is...
HongUn Prime win.
Well, I got stuck there.
Very talented Protoss player, I think, is what you meant to say.
I don't know what. Oh, you see me getting stuck? It was like watching a man die. I was like, I had
the life ring, but I wasn't going to do it.
That's what happens.
It's my life ring.
Now, note these positions. They are pretty close together.
My.
And actually, this could not be worse for the Zerg because, look, the Zerg's most accessible expansion that's safe to take is over here. Yet, the Protoss could actually just walk a Colossus right over that. And, of course, the entrance to the main, is right over here.
Yeah, HongUn also has just scouted.
Yeah, so HongUn's like,
Yeah, he's got to be feeling good. Well, he's going to be able to know exactly what's going on with our Zerg player. The Zerg player, smartly, is not going to go hatchery first.
Yeah, there's no way you can go hatch first in this position.
Yeah, well, really in any short map against Protoss, you cannot hatch first. Hatch first overall is a coin flip build, because if they 2-gate, you're just dead, simply put. But in close maps, you're always dead, because they scout you and then they decide to make a forge and you lose. So I'm happy that next NaYa knew enough not to do that on this map.
By the way, guys, please encourage your friends to tune in to GOMTV. We'll get our premium service if they can't tune in because they have to sleep.
That's right.
Because that's the only possible excuse I could have. Actually, sleep is actually inexcusable as well. You're thinking about going to sleep.
Yeah, no, sleep is
I want you
for
to,
the weak, Tasteless.
Yeah.
You can sleep when you're retired.
You can sleep when you're dead, actually.
You can sleep when they turn off the servers for StarCraft 2 to update it.
That's right. That's when it's okay to sleep.
Normally only takes an hour, so not going to get much
That's enough. At least get one REM cycle in there.
There you go.
I'm surprised he didn't turn this overload around, actually.
Yeah. He's just like, hey,
he's like, all right,
you're
you're just going to go up here, and you're going to check out what's up here. He's not also up here. That's good.
You know, I guess it could scout, like, a very specific proxy location for a starport, but that's about it.
Yeah. Here comes the expansion. Oh, no, excuse me. There it is.
I approve completely of NaYa's opening.
Yep. Don't want to expand over here.
He's getting not only that, but he got speed first.
Right.
Which is awesome. It's a great build. And in fact, getting another queen, oh my god, next NaYa watches my replays. This is how you do it.
He's been studying Artosis.
Yeah, you get that speed first. It stops a lot of silliness, and you get that second queen out to catch up and get some creep tumors down.
Now, what do you think about the Stargate here? You have a lot more experience in ZVP on this map.
Well, the Stargate, hopefully it's going to be Phoenixes. You know, if you do go Void Rays, you want to follow it up with a Warp Gate Rush. If you go Phoenixes, what you do is you make... Normally you go out with 4, and then you just start sniping queens and taking out overlords, because the Zerg just isn't going to be ready for it that quick. And also he's not going to know about it because you wait. If you fly out with the first one, it's kind of worthless. Okay, he's going to make the Void Ray.
Void Rays.
Now what he's going to want to do behind this is a Warp Gate push.
Yeah.
If he expands behind it, that is actually wrong. I hate to say that something is completely wrong, but it is, because what you're supposed to do is, Zerg, when you actually see a Void Ray, well, you obviously start making anti-air, but you make a ton of speedlings, because they're going to have either a ton of units behind it, and Void Ray is very terrible against speedlings, or they're going to expand and you can just kill it with speedlings.
Right,
so
you're dead on about taking this expansion and not this one in this case if you're the Protoss, you're doing the push, because there's a small window of time where the Zerg is completely thrown off and has to reorganize and reassemble an army, and that's how you can do it now. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's quite right.
You think this is too soon? I would have actually waited for the second, but...
Yeah, a lot of people do, but there's no creep connecting the main bases, so you might be all right on this. And here comes the queen.
And he needs a second queen to transfuse here.
Absolutely does. He is making a second queen, but it's not going to be out in time. This queen is going to be dead.
It's got the boost. And then beams going up and down like this. Doop, 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 doop. And now this is going to be really bad. And this queen is like, oh, I'm so fat and slow. I'm going to lose the Zerg the game.
Yeah, you know, this is one reason why you always creep up in between the main and the natural.
Yeah.
So many queen Zergs don't do this, but notice that queen trying to walk down there. And notice how that's not working.
And of course, he can also just go back to the main.
Yeah. Now that 2 queens are down here, you can be
is
like,
he going to get it? Will he get it? No.
Now it looks like we are in fact going to see baseless a Warp Gate.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's even going to fall with the Blink Rush. That's fine. I mean, you can do that or you don't do it. Up to you. The Blink Rush is actually going to allow him to skip the front. You can use the Void Ray to spot and just blink right in.
Now, I don't believe this attack can go on for much longer here.
Already 7 kills on this, forcing Spore Crawlers.
You know what's funny about this is that, you know, I was saying, would he attack with the second? Why not attack in the second? He actually never made a second, which means he's doing kind of an orthodox play. He's just using one Void Ray, forcing the Zerg to actually overcompensate.
Yeah.
And now he's going to do the second phase of this, which is a Stalker Rush. HongUn Prime, you are so good.
Yeah, and, you know, he really has forced that overreaction. There's a bunch of queens around, a bunch of Spore Crawlers, basically no units. Again, when you see that Void Ray, you have to make a ton of speedlings.
Oh, blip with the Void Ray on there. Didn't see it. Or blip with the Overlord, rather. And here comes the surprise. He's even like, guess what, I got Blink. Uh-oh.
And our Zerg player is shaking
player
in his boots because he's about to die. Oh, be careful, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Void Ray is actually very important. He's going to want to blink back any stalkers that are getting hurt. Not as if he actually needs to.
No, he actually just has too many stalkers here.
Oops, loses the Void Ray.
It's okay, though. This game's actually over.
Yep. Pretty much.
And that is all she wrote. The drones trying to come in here, but that's not enough. GG. I kind of feel bad for a Zerg. I mean, there's just not a lot you can do there, but HongUn Prime is just too good.
You know, our Zerg, he wasn't really ready. There's just... He reacted wrongly. He did not have the creep tumor in between the main and the natural.
Yeah.
What you do, if you do have that creep tumor out, which you should always have, I know a lot of pro Zergs you see don't do it, but it's for situations like that where you have to join the queens very quickly.
Yeah.
You can just pull your queen back. If you just engage with 2 queens, the Void Ray can't kill anything, but instead Void Ray kills queens, kills drones, forces Spore Crawlers. He could have held it off completely while more queens make for more Void Rays that can come.
Right.
As long as he sends the first Void Ray alone, you can take it out easily as long as you have creep in between the bases.
You know what you can do, too, if you're on creep, not queep. You can use the queen, attack it, and then run away so it can't charge up on your queen. And then that way it's never fully firing. It buys you more time, because once the Void Ray hits phase 2, and all it has to do is focus its beam on anything, and then it's charged up. That's when it gets really difficult to deal with.
And also, a Void Ray that quick, I'll tell you that in a minute because we're starting the game.
Let's get ready for game number 2. Let's see if HongUn Prime's going to tool him, if we're going to go to a third game. I don't know.
I had
it's
enough
going to be
time
tough.
to tell him now.
I know. The game's like actually almost completely loaded.